Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Ina. If you didn't already know, which you probably did, if you didn't, you know now. I promised you writing content this weekend. Here I am delivering. So today I'm going to keep the video a little on the shorter side because number one, I'm pressed for time. Number two, it hasn't really been a very good week. I'm going to start revealing some stuff about the novel that I just completed. If you have been following me on Instagram, if you've been looking at the shorts that I produce here on YouTube, then you probably will have seen a slightly teary announcement that I had finished the final revisions, hopefully final revisions, on my first novel. I will say that this is a book that I have been working on periodically for a number of years now. There's a long backstory to it that I'm not going to delve in too much into in this particular video. I'll save that for the next one. This is going to be a continuing series as I look for an agent, as I decide on publishing options, as I, go through the whole education process on the publishing industry, literary agencies and agents and all of that. So I'll be taking you with me on this journey. As far as the type of book that it is a cozy mystery because that was predominantly what I was brought up on. I was brought up on a lot of, the classic Carolyn Keene, Nancy Drew books. I have all of the original 56, was it 56? Yeah, I think it was 56 original Carolyn Keene, Nancy Drew books. I was brought up with Masterpiece Theater and Mystery, PBS Mystery, playing in the house on the TV because that was what my mother liked to watch. So I ended up, and of course I've read Agatha Christie, not all of her books, not yet, but I've read Agatha Christie, I've read Dorothy L. Sayers, I've seen adaptations of a lot of different classic authors' work. So I decided to start out years and years ago with writing cozy mysteries because number one, that was what I liked, number two, that was what I was more familiar with. But at the time, I think I probably would have preferred doing something that was more like a period piece, but at the time I didn't quite feel comfortable doing that. And I can remember when I got the idea for this book. It is in a contemporary setting. It's in a small town, and it predominantly revolves around two families. I will say that this book more than likely is going to end up having a sequel because with all the revisions that I've done and the alterations to individual characters and portions of the plot that have taken place over the years, I haven't really been able to end the full story in the way that I wanted to end it. I was only able to end kind of like a half a story. It ended up being split into two parts. So this novel that I finished is the first installment, and then at some point there is going to have to be a second because there is a little bit of a cliffhanger. There is the resolution of the primary mystery, but there's also a secondary mystery, and that is where you get the cliffhanger. So that will be something that's fleshed out in the second book whenever I start working on that. I have a pretty good idea of what's going to happen in it. I just haven't written a manuscript for it yet. I had a lot of fun creating the characters, I will say. And there are a couple who are modeled off of people I know. I'm not going to say any names. I mean, they're not around, the actual people I modeled the characters after are not around in my life anymore. But there's a fair amount of humor to it, or at least what I consider to be humor. And it is in a very nice small town setting here in the US. Lots of trees. The weather also plays a role in setting the atmosphere. It's set during it's set during the late summer, but they're going through a heat wave, so everybody's kind of agitated because of the heat. And it was difficult for me to reach the point where I felt comfortable with the way that the book reads, the characters, since it is the first full-length book that I've worked on that's not a work of poetry, and since I have lived with this story for so many years, I think, at least maybe it's just because of the way I am, I felt like I had to keep perfecting it. I came to the realization that I just have to get it out there. I can't keep revising it. It's as good as it's going to be. It is at a point where I'm far happier with it than I was previously. And the story has also changed quite a bit because of other things that have come up in my life that were influencing the story. And I've gotten to the point now where I'm happy with it. I feel like I can send it off, but I'm also in the process of educating myself about exactly where to send it off. I had previously, years ago, actually released this book under a different title. The title has changed a couple of times, with a pseudo publishing house that turned out to be a scam. And I actually had to pay a certain amount to break the, quote, contract, unquote. So I'm very cautious about putting it out there again. I want to be absolutely certain that I do everything right this time. I was a lot younger also at the time, and going through personal stuff that probably affected my decision-making process. So that's a mistake I'm not going to make again. So I just wanted to do this as a quick intro, or an intro to the intro, to the series that I'm going to be doing about this book. In the next video, I'm going to go into the plot more. I'm not sure if I'm going to do, I am going to talk about the characters a lot more, but I don't think that I'm going to give too much away in dedicating entire videos to the characters, even though technically I could. But I think I'm going to reserve more details about the plot for the follow-up video, which I'll release next week. If you're seeing this in the future, the video will already be up probably. So I hope you're all having a good day. I just wanted to keep this short and sweet, and I'll see you next time. Bye.